Happy Labor Day, y'all. Yes, it's Labor Day and it's Monday. There's nothing going on, not much to do. So I'm sitting out here on my balcony having some coffee, gonna take a coffee break. Maybe I'll take more than one coffee break today. We're gonna have a discussion about something today that I call change. But I want to let you know it's a hot day here where I'm at. It's going to be 112 degrees here. I'm watching a lot of planes take off. It's very hazy outside, very white, which is a little unusual, and a lot of traffic going by. But that's not going to stop us from having a little gab session, so grab your beverage and let's get to it. We're going to be talking about change. Change comes in different formats. Physical change like coins, or when you change your clothes every day, that's a type of change. Change as it pertains to fear of the unknown or the inevitable. The change in life, such as when you go from one chapter of life to another. All kinds of things about change. And I've been thinking about that. It's on my mind. And I want to have that conversation with you today on our coffee break. So grab your beverage and let's get to it. Well, I'm glad you decided to join me today for a little bit of gab session. I like thinking out loud and talking out loud and sharing my ideas and thoughts about things that pop into my mind throughout the week. And today, I was thinking about change. And there's many ways to look at change. I like going out for a walk or a run and looking around the neighborhood a little bit every now and again when it's not too hot. And one thing that I always find are lucky pennies. That's what I call them anyway. You find a penny here and a penny there, and I always pick it up because I figure, hey, what the hell? It's superstitious maybe, but I'm going to pick up my penny and call it a lucky penny and put it away. And when you think about it, a penny is a coin, and a coin constitutes the singular version of what constitutes change in the physical sense. Which leads me to a story which I think is very appropriate for today's discussion about change. And that is, once upon a time when I was a whole lot younger, living in Dallas, Texas, I didn't have a lot of money and I didn't have a lot of work going on, and I really needed to figure out how I was going to go to the grocery store and pick up something to eat. I went through every drawer in my apartment, every pocket in my pants and shorts, bags. I scraped into the cushions of the couch, and I pulled together enough change to go to the grocery store with $1.01. Now, I know this was a little bit ago, and $1.01 isn't going to buy you much in today's world. But back then it was very important to me, and I went into a grocery store, and I must have spent at least 30 minutes walking up and down the aisles trying to figure out what I was going to buy for $1.01. Because that's all I had. And I ended up buying a bag of split peas, and I think maybe a bag of rice, which back then must have been like 33 cents a bag for a small bag. And I got a banana. And did you know that I came out of the grocery store with change? From $1.01, I managed to get some change. I was so thrilled to have the ability to go into a grocery store with that small amount of money and grab some groceries and come out with change in my hands. But the most important part of it was I used spare change to go to the grocery store. Why that's so prevalent to the idea of change is because there's a lot of change going on in the world. And I've been thinking a lot about change in my own personal life. And there goes a plane. Don't let me get distracted. Anyways, I have been thinking about change. And I've been thinking of the many ways you can look at the idea of change. And that story is indicative of how I used change, how I utilized change to help me at a time when I didn't have much at all. So change in the physical sense could be very helpful. And I owe that idea of using spare change to my advantage to my uncle. And my uncle passed away last year. And one of the things he taught me that I remember very clearly to this day is to always take your spare change and throw it in a jar. Now, the story I just told you, that wasn't the case. I didn't have change in a jar. But I had change all over the house, just sort of had to go looking for it. But if you put your change in a jar, then it's going to be there when you are going through a hard time. And that physical change, that literal change in coins, can be very beneficial to you and help you get out of a tough spot from time to time. So as I thought about change this week, I was thinking of those two stories in particular and how much change is going on in our world today with everything from coronavirus to racial inequality to politics and the upcoming elections. It's a lot. And there goes another plane, so I'm going to wait a second. I hope you don't mind me talking outside. I never edit these videos and cut out the pauses. I just want to have a stream of consciousness, thought, and discussion with everybody. But anyway, back to the conversation about change. There's so much of it going on. And for me, I've been thinking, how does that play out for my life? Am I going to be forced to take an early retirement from the life as I knew it? Am I going to have to change careers? Or do I even think about a career anymore and just do jobs to survive? And when will that happen again? There's a lot of questions going on in so many people's minds about what the future will hold. And it's all about change. And some people are resistant to change, but change is inevitable, as they say. It's happening all the time, from moment to moment to moment. It's change. It means something's different. And that doesn't mean that change or something different has to be a bad thing. But it could be a moment where we take stock of our lives and we grow a little bit, is what I'm thinking. But here's what change means to me right now. As I'm thinking about it and I'm sharing it with you, I feel like change is not just something that is put upon me, it's also something that I have to think about and facilitate on my own. And if I'm going to be honest with everybody, I feel like it's time for a change. I feel it's been happening for me a lot over the last year, where I've had to make decisions to walk away from situations and jobs and people and just say no. I facilitated my own change. And as I do that, as I facilitate my own change, I'm doing so by standing up to things that I believe in or walking away from things I don't believe in. So in that perspective, change has been quite a part of my life for over a year now. But as we approach fall and a whole year of dealing with coronavirus and racial inequalities and protesting and politics and now an upcoming election and are we going to get a vaccine or not and who needs to take the vaccine and should we? I'm thinking, wow, what is it that I want out of life now? It isn't just about working or making a living or following a career path anymore. I do what I do, and I enjoy doing it. But maybe it's time for a change. And maybe I'm the one who has to make that decision and not necessarily everyone making that decision for me. So I see change as something to be thought about seriously, not necessarily to be afraid of, because I can't change. I can only facilitate a process to move through it and make some healthy choices along the way. Isn't that true? Do you agree? There's a lot to think about with this change thing. So we don't think of change in terms of just coins and how that can help you in the long run, or change like I want to move from a smaller house to a bigger house so that I have more room to put more stuff. Or I'm scared of change because it's fear of the unknown. Change covers a lot of territory for many different people, and it seems like it's an ongoing discussion. So I kind of wondered about that, and I wondered what other people are thinking and doing and what's going through their minds when it comes to the idea of change in our current times. And how will that look to us later down the road? Kind of wondering what your thoughts are about that. And I would like for you to participate in the conversation if you feel like you'd like to. Share your thoughts, your opinions, your experiences and observations about the idea of change. And do so in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to read some ideas from other people. And I'd like to continue the discussion. So that's one place where you can put your thoughts and your ideas, and we can have this conversation together and continue the conversation. Another way to do that is to share this video with other people. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video or if you think it's worth continuing the conversation. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button, and I can let you know when another video is coming down the pike. But I certainly do enjoy the idea of sitting here and thinking out loud and talking out loud, even if it seems like I'm talking to myself. I figure there are a few of you out there that might want to participate or at least listen to some of my ideas, and that might cause you to think about how the topic of the day affects you. And maybe you can come forward and we can figure this all out together. That would be pretty cool. In any case, thanks for listening if you are listening. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks for your comments. I appreciate it. And we'll get together for another coffee break real soon. I look forward to it as always. Till then, you have a great day and happy Labor Day. Bye-bye.